Why is the army changing its position in that story? Commodore Shekhar is Regional Director of the National Maritime Foundation from Chennai tonight. R. Nataraj, former DGP of Chennai. He's joining us from Chennai. Kailash Satyarthi, Chairperson of the Bachao Bachao Andolan from Delhi, and Neena Nayak is Chairperson of the Karnataka State Commission for Protection of Children's Rights from Bangalore tonight. Commodore Shekhar, is the army looking foolish in this case now with the latest details coming in?
Arnav, I don't think the army is looking foolish at all. I think the army, right from the word go, has been taking a principled stand that an investigation is in progress, and it's only the investigation can actually say who shot this unfortunate young lad.
No, but the army's preliminary response, Commodore Shekhar, was that Dilshan was not killed with our weapons. And that's what their preliminary inquiry, which they were quite strong on, they said preliminary inquiry shows none of our official weapons were used in the firing. This was despite the fact that it was shown that he was fired upon from close range, well within the officers' accommodation where the incident took place. I'm just recounting what happened on Saturday.
Right. The army stand, when the army was questioned, in fact, Brigadier Shashi Nair, who's the Brigadier in charge administration, the stand that he took was, as far as the guards in the residential quarters were concerned, none of those guards were actually army personnel. The guards there in the residential quarters were outsourced to a civilian organization, and even they were not armed with weapons. They were with lathis or danda. This is what the army said right in the beginning.
They were giving themselves a clean sheet, sir.
And that's absolutely correct.
They were giving themselves a clean sheet, sir. They were giving themselves a clean sheet when the incident happened. Mr. Nataraj, what's your view?
No,
is the army looking a little foolish in this case now with the details emerging?
This particular incident is really an unfortunate incident, and if you see that area, it is not an operational area as far as army is concerned, and they have different scales of security. As Commodore Shekhar said, it is a low-level security which they had deployed, and abutting that is a huge island ground is there. There is the exhibition ground. Then the quarters are there, and the garrison. So many things. So each has got a different level of security. And here, the unfortunate incident took place inside the compound, and that is really unfortunate. And I am sure it was not as if there was an access control and somebody was prevented, and in spite of which somebody came and warned and then shot. It is not like that. It is not as if somebody was challenged and then the firing took place. It doesn't appear like that.
No, but
and it was the shootout was inside. And maybe how it happened, it has to be investigated, and the CBCID has recovered some spent bullet from the
but
spot.
Mr. Nataraj, this is about sensitivity. Yeah. We are picking up this issue today. This is about sensitivity, isn't it, Neena Nayak? It's the fact that immediate. Yes, please go ahead. It's about sensitivity. A child dies.
This is a young hapless child.
Yeah, I fully agree. You know, in all these.
Yeah, this is a young hapless child. Out of curiosity, scales the wall. Yes, Arnab?
Go on, Ms. Nayak. Please go on.
Yeah, this is a young hapless child who's out of curiosity scales a wall. He's not entering some war zone. This is a family quarters, and I think the child. I mean, why can't the army be more sensitive? And if there is security there, why can't they use some buckshot like the police use? Just try to hit the. Try to alarm the child, tell him not to do. I think really this is about sensitivity. Don't children matter? The country, the citizens of the country look at the army in very high esteem, hold them in high esteem. It's a very disciplined force. So we really did not expect this from the army.
No, question also is Kailash Satyarthi. I know you've been following this case. I just want to go to Kailash Satyarthi once before I open this up to debate. Yeah. Question is, Mr. Satyarthi, immediately after this incident, the army said we have carried out a physical check. We've checked all private weapons. There are no discrepancies. Everything is all right. So anybody except the army has done this. This was the initial response, wasn't it, Mr. Satyarthi? What does this initial response reflect in the case of Dilshan?
I don't believe that. First of all, the boy has been killed, and he has been killed inside the army premises. There is no civilian who could enter with arm and kill a boy. There is no local police who could enter into that premises and kill a boy. It must be either army or army's people. It must be the guard or watchman employed by army. It's very clear. But I'm more ashamed to know that after 4 days of this incident, our government has completely failed to identify. We have advanced technology. We have advanced forensic sciences and labs. Why can't we find out what kind of gun was used? Why can't we find out what kind of weaponry or bullet was used? Because army uses different kind of bullets, and the private people use different kind of guns, and the police have different guns. It was very much possible to find out what kind of gun or what kind of bullet has been used. So we failed to do it. But more importantly, the reactions and the reactions coming from army and coming from other corners are definitely lack sensitivity. Somebody should take the responsibility and say that yes, we are going to investigate into it. Instead, outrightly it has been denied that it has not been done. But let me also bring a very important issue, that we failed our children in over 60 years of our democracy. We failed miserably to sensitize our armies towards the poor children and poor people. We miserably failed to sensitize the police and ordinary citizens, to sensitize about the rights of the children and dignity of the children. The dignity of the children is at stake, but definitely their life and liberty is on the stake. Children cannot live freely in this country. What is happening in this country?
Commodore Shekhar, you wanted to respond. I am simply on one point, Mr. Nataraj. A 13-year-old boy died.
It's not correct to say that the police has not fixed up. That's what he says. It is not correct. In fact, as soon as the incident took place, it came to light. The investigation was, the government entrusted the investigation to Crime Branch CID, and the forensic experts and the chief of the Crime Branch CID has visited the spot, and they have collected the evidence, and I'm sure they will come out with the truth, what has happened, and everything will come out. And the government has immediately announced a solatium of 5 lakhs to the bereaved family.
So that is what the government, money can't compensate.
No, 4 days were not good enough to investigate, because this is a poor boy. Luckily, the channels like Times Now is raising this issue. Luckily, the people are resisting. That's why you are reacting like that. But why don't you come out with some of the result of your investigation in last 4 days?
No, I agree with you. Yes, Commodore Shekhar.
Arnab, can I come in now? Okay. Yeah, Arnab, I think as far as the state of Tamil Nadu is concerned, the cooperation between the army and the state government and the police, I think it's excellent. There has been no question of any lack of coordination or lack of cooperation between the army and the... No, but here, the previous speaker said that the insensitivity has been shown by not expressing anything as if nothing had happened. Here, I think the army is very, very, very sensitive to the fact that a poor life has been lost. And I'm using the word poor not in the sense of economically poor. A life has been lost, and it doesn't matter whether it's a
rich person or a poor person.
Somebody has lost a life.
No, sir, in that case, 1 minute.
The army...
So 1 minute, Commodore Shekhar. I have a very straight question. 1 minute. Commodore Shekhar, Army has changed its version since the 2nd of July. Yeah. Earlier, Army said no Army Jawan was present. Let me give you an example. Earlier, first response, no Army Jawan present at the time Dilshan was shot. The issue comes up in the media, you are under pressure. You as in the Army is under pressure today, so you are beginning to respond. First, nobody thought, the Army didn't think it's just an accident may have happened. And hence, there was an attempt at a cover-up. There was an obvious attempt at a cover-up. Now, earlier, Army said no Army Jawan shot. Our sources are telling us that the bullet trajectory shows, and there is apparently the role of a lieutenant colonel which is under the scanner. 6 Army men are under suspicion. How long does it take the Army to conclude the probe and hand it over to the CBCID? And why did the army
Right,
try a
even
cover
this
up initially?
statement
Did the army think it will not become an issue in the media? That it's too local and too small an issue? The 13-year-old boy from an economically,
No.
not well-off family is not going to raise a national furor. You can go around shooting people you want accidentally, and more than that, Commodore Shekhar. My question is, somebody is hiding.
No.
Somebody is hiding. If it was a
Right.
mistake, if it's an officer, the officers had come forward and say, I take responsibility, it was my mistake. I didn't intend to kill the child. But what is coming up here is that somebody killed and then hid, which is worse.
Yes, Arnab, definitely facts are
Right.
being concealed.
No,
I think it's
one
time the
moment.
army owns up. It is army property.
No, Nina, let Nina complete. I'll come back to
It
you.
is army land, it is army property. Come on, this has happened. I think you cannot conceal these facts anymore. Children have rights, and if this is a marginalized family, did the army think that they cannot hire these high-flying lawyers and defense lawyers to protect this interest of the child? It is a child. I think it's time that the army realized and then immediately owned up, gave enough compensation to the child. Come on, it is a poor family that has lost a child. No amount of compensation we know will compensate this family, but I think at least owning up. 4 long days have passed and nobody knows who has killed the child within the army premises. This is really a sham.
And that's what you say, the good relationship. Jayalalitha said it's a boy, not a terrorist. You killed a 13-year-old boy, not an extremist. A boy trying to climb a tree gets shot, and if there's an army person involved, first the army gives itself the clean chit. If there is an army person involved, and that's a big if,
right,
then the person has been hiding. Then the person is hiding under institutional support.
No, but as the point which he person brought out, it is today with forensic science being what it is, the bullet, if it is established, it can clearly bring out whether it's an armed forces weapon or a non-armed forces weapon. It's as simple as that. So if there is evidence to show so-and-so bullet has been fired,
but
then
the big question is that why army has denied outrightly in the beginning? Why army has denied it? Why not? What kind of message we are giving to the whole country and to the entire army that you can keep on killing the young poor children and we will keep on protecting you, saying that we have not killed? How could it be possible? You should have been honest. And
even if it is not an
there could be something wrong. There could be some mishap. We are going to investigate it right from the beginning.
Yes, Ms. Nayak, quickly.
And you have not said it like that because he was a poor child. If the media was not so strong, if the people were not so angry, then the whole matter has gone lost somewhere.
No, there would have been a cover-up.
And this message should go clearly and strongly that army has to be sensitive towards the poor children.
There would have been a cover-up.
Sensitive towards the poor children.
There would have been a cover-up.
You cannot cover up.
I think a quick investigation will send the message, will send the right message through the whole country. Come on, let's just own it up and let's try to see who it is. Let's pin the responsibility. Let the army be accountable. Please, for heaven's sake and for children's sake.
But the investigation is already with the CBCID. They are carrying out the investigation. The police, the most competent people in this case, the army is not doing the investigation. The police is doing the investigation with the full cooperation of the army.
Mr. Shekhar, I have 3 questions for you. I have 3 questions for you, sir. Please, 3 questions. Do you or do you not believe that it was a grievous mistake of the army to give a clean chit to itself in the preliminary inquiry? Do you or do not believe?
I believe, right, I believe that the army took a principled stand and said until an investigation is completed, no clean chit otherwise could be given.
Principal stand that we are not at fault. Principal stand that we give ourselves a clean chit.
No, they didn't say that. They said the stand taken by the army was that in this residential, can I continue, please? So the stand taken by the army right from the word go is in a residential complex. The guards were not from the army. They were outsourced and the guards were not armed. That was the stand that they took.
Point number
and that
2.
still stands.
Point number 2.
If right.
Question number 2.
Yes, please.
Whether or not, and I'm not prejudging with army man, but I still think whether it's an army man or not, for the army to give a clean chit to anyone in the initial stages is wrong. Question number 2. And this is actually, I'll limit it to the second question. Tell me, sir, or everyone on this panel, not just you, sir, with all respect, had it been a politician's child, had it been an industrialist's child, had it been, a corporate top shot's child, Had it been a senior army officer
That's
or
what I'm
army
saying.
official's child,